Good morning, everyone. So we have here with us Dr. Shiv Prakash, who is a NIMHANS topper. My heartfelt greetings and congratulations to Dr. Shiv Prakash for his extraordinary feat which he has achieved. This video is basically kept for motivating people who are right now about to write their 2021 NEET exam and all the other institute exams as you have written. First of all, I would like to ask you, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, sir. My name is Dr. Shiva Prakash. Thanks a lot for having me on board today. I would like to introduce myself as a very humble student. I'm a hard worker at clinics, but academically, I am a bit challenged. I have been through a journey which I think might be helpful for the students who are preparing.
Yes. So where did you do your MBBS, MD, your journey?
Yes, sir. I did my MBBS in Guntur Medical College, Guntur, sir, in Andhra Pradesh. And later, in my house in internship days, I got my passion towards general medicine. Till then, I was a bit aimless only. I've seen my seniors, I've seen people recovering, and then I thought, okay, general medicine is my thing, and started preparing for it. And I've secured a national rank in DMB, and I've joined in an institute. It's a mission hospital named Christian Fellowship Hospital, Ottanchantram. It's in Tamil Nadu. It is sort of a sister branch to CMC Vellore. So we worked hard for 3 years there. And there used to be a very good teacher named Dr. Kurvilla Varke. He used to teach us a lot of neurology. He's an old man, but he's full of wisdom and insight. He's very, very, very clinical man. So seeing him, we got inspired. Many of us got inspired and wanted to do neurology. But later I couldn't immediately pursue for DM because I had to work somewhere. After a gap of 3 years, I decided to start reading for neurology. And then it was not that easy to come back for reading because it's been almost 3.5 years after my completion of my DLB. So everything was new for me. So I had to start from scratch. This is where I think the newcomers should know, because we should not do the same mistakes as I have done. The thing is, always keep it clinical. So it's simple as that. Harrison is the gold standard. You should start reading Harrison first from day one. Those people who have had the advantage to start immediately preparation, yes, they might have read it. But those people like me who have a hiatus of 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years, I think the first thing is to start Harrison. That too, Harrison second volume only, and then work back to Harrison volume 1. And then any doubts in between, it is better to go to refer Snell's and neuroanatomy. So after completing all those things, I would like to add at each chapter, get a book called Ajay Mathur MCQs or Sunil Kumar, and finish the MCQs then and there. And any corrections, any answers, we can actually add in those things. This way we can complete that part of the syllabus, and actually in 2 months, if we can go ahead very smoothly without any distractions. And then it is better to go ahead selectively for other topics like Bradley. Bradley, I have not actually completed everything, but given a chance, I would like to actually complete Parkinson's disease, dementia, epilepsy, and dystonia. These are very important topics which are being touched time and again by not just premier institutes, but also by NEET. In no way NEET nowadays any exam is inferior or superior to one another. All the tests have become very difficult in all standards. The division is in such that 40 questions are coming from general medicine, 60 are from neurology. Of the 60, there are 20 questions which are very difficult questions, which are either directly from Bradley or from review articles. So it is very difficult to expand our preparation to review articles and all that stuff. But we can get a hold of Harrison and certain topics in Bradley, and we can cover. And the rest of the 40 questions are straight away from Harrison's, from lines, and most importantly, they are from tables. Simple example is I have given exams like from June. I have June AIMS, June PGI, September NEET, And again, December session exams. In all those exams, the two tables have repeatedly asked were from stroke, chapter 420. Indications of aspirin and oral anticoagulants. There are very tricky situations where you have to choose a double anticoagulant or an oral anticoagulant or an aspirin. These are confusing for everybody of us. Those are high yield propositions where you have to read. This is just an example where actually in right away from tables they just ask. What I would suggest looking back is it's very difficult to mug up the whole table. Rather, we can break the table into MCQs. For example, Parkinson's disease, there's a good table wherein some of the diseases are autosomal recessive and some of those diseases are autosomal dominant. You yourself can write a notes making that which are autosomal recessive, which are autosomal dominant, so that whenever you revise, you will know which are AD and which are AR. And then when an MCQ comes, it becomes
very good, Shiva. Actually, you have concised everything for them in a nutshell.
yes.
So I won't interrupt you in anything. You can talk freely, like what you want. As you rightly said, there will be a mentor in most of our lives during our MD times
Yes,
who would have inspired. Same like me also, I had while doing my MD in Coimbatore Medical College. Then that person inspires us, and we try, we may fail, and we may rise up again, and we go towards the path of our journey to finally becoming a neurologist. That's the usual journey we all
Yes.
has to face. And as you rightly said,
Yes.
Harrison is the Bible of medicine. And I should say for all NEET aspirants, it's the same. I would like to know that you have told about the NEET pattern. So how was it after writing the NEET exam? What did you feel? Whether you will make it? And you also had a long gap in between, about 3.5 years. That is too much of a time.
Yes.
That
Yes,
journey is very much important because most of the people I know, some are directly planning to write after they are finishing their MD and DNB courses, but some must have been left behind because of family issues. So many issues come. We are actually now maybe around 28 to 32 range of people who will be usually attempting to join neurology.
Yes, sir.
The family support, the family issues, all we have. So then only we'll come to this. So so your journey would, I think, will be a role model for the people who had left a gap after their MD. So what do you say, like after MD to your DM gap? What was your ups and lows, and where did you feel that okay, this is my time to show up? I should get into neurology this time. That is 2020. I should somehow get it.
I've joined private practice, and in private practice, I used to work in a secondary care hospital. In a secondary care hospital, where no other specialist is to be, the general medicine person is the go-to person. And surprisingly, in our hospital, many of the patients used to come in a window period of stroke. One fine day, actually, I was sitting in the evening OPD. And at 5 o'clock, somebody is coming with slurring of speech and weakness of the right arm. So it's a left MCA region. And he's a young person. He's a Brahmin. He recites poems in the temple. So they just brought him actually. And then I got a CT done. I called a duty neurologist. He was unavailable at that time. And then I had to take a call because it was within the window period of 1.5 hours. I've really not known the indications, contraindications and all. I had to go through the book. I had to search articles in the 15 minutes. I had to call up my pharmacy guy if the tenecteplase or an altiplase is there. I had to arrange everything, and then only tenecteplase was available. And then I have given him a dose of 25 milligram. I followed him up another 6 hours, and then he within 12 hours he started walking and talking. That is my I don't know. I want to say I thought that is my calling. Then I thought, okay. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've forgotten all these things, and then incidentally, God has given me subsequently within the next 6 months chances of 15 people to thrombolize, and all of them have recovered. Nihilism or the inertia which I used to have regarding neurology, everything went off. Then I again reapplied for NIMHANS, but then it was a very vague attempt back then, and then to 2018.
Okay.
In 2018 ends. So, and then 2019, I started to give notice to my hospital, but I was not able to be relieved immediately. I was working and then slowly studying, very vague this and that. And at the end of 2019, I thought, okay, I've been seeing the follow-up patients of some other neurologists. I mean, some other persons outside. Many people used to come after stroke, depression, movement disorders and all, none of which I was unable to even manage. So I really thought, okay, I think general medicine is good. We can see a lot of patients, but I think there are patients which I cannot deal completely by knowing very little. So I have to expand on whatever I have to know. If at all I want to treat a person fully, yes, I should get to the end of it. So then I made a decision at 2019 and I gave a notice and then I came off in January of 2020. And then I started preparing. So there was a calling in DMB, but I thought I had worked for general medicine and all of that thing. And certain issues like these kind of people who have thrombolized and a friend who has recovered from a stroke, devastatingly, 1 year he was not with me. We are in touch, and suddenly after 1 year, I see him walking and doing work. I had confidence in neurology. So then I thought, okay, the whole thing is just a fear of unknown. And then everything went off, and I started preparing.
Very good. Actually, I will tell you that there is a general neurophobia among all the medical professions,
Yes, sir.
basically MD medicine people,
Yeah.
because we have a difficulty in understanding the concept and making it in practice. But once we crack into the
Yes.
concept, actually neurology is much more interesting. And if you have a passion for
Yes.
neurology, nothing can stop you. That is a great story. Exactly how did you strategize? So you said that after January 2020, you were planning. All the aspirants usually would be planning for NEET. Was there any difference? You are interested in NIMHANS or something? Institute exam?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, sir. Actually, my interest was institutes only because for one reason, from word of mouth from my friends and all, I heard that if you want to do very good neurology, you have to come up through these top 5 institutes, so that you can learn a lot rather than a brand image or for money. If you have really good passion for neurology, you have to go through this. But I was also comfortable if I get a good seat in MMC, Madras Medical College, or any of the Delhi colleges. I thought I would take. But more than that, once when I started in January, actually there were a few mistakes. Actually, I did not put a deadline. What I would suggest to my juniors or who are trying to get into this thing is always to put a deadline and make a pragmatic timetable. I thought, no, I should read. I didn't read for a long time. I should read neurology first. I think that is a very vague way of going about it. So I thought, I don't know anything. So I'll start with Snell's. So I started with Snell's and I was almost took some 1.5 months to read Snell's and revise Snell and all. But which the yield was very low. Snell neuroanatomy, although questions are there, the yield was very low. And then I came back to Harrison and then I read Harrison. But then I understood that after finishing Harrison and all, when I went and wrote in June, many questions were from Harrison, and I had to completely go through Harrison more than other books.
so NEET, I suppose, was planned to be conducted on September 27th because it got delayed. So that was a
Yes,
great
sir.
advantage because you got much more time than you thought to
Yes.
prepare for the NEET. So how was the NEET
Yes.
preparation? Apart, you studied Harrison. Did you cover Bradley initially for the NEET? As you said, initially Bradley, some parts you need to cover. You covered that, or and when did you start
For the
solving your problems? Actually, say solving the questions, because that is a very important part. Because learning is different and applying for NEET exam or a institute exam is completely different ballgame. So
Yes,
how
sir.
did you, after the learning part, how did you come into solving questions or like cracking
Yes,
exams?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, luckily, while preparing for the exams and NEET and all, I went through a RxPG website wherein I got a link for an invitation for a NEET preparation group. So I was in the group since March of 2020, where actually we religiously, some of our colleagues used to contribute 2-3 MCQs per day. Whatever we used to read, we make it into an MCQ and present it in the group so that it can be solved at the end of the day. So likewise, for every day, 10 MCQs, 10 to 15 MCQs used to get pooled, and we used to discuss that way. And at the end of June and July, somehow one of my friends have given an invite to join a new group, and we didn't know what that group was. And then when we joined, it was known to be belonging to a professor from MBS Medical College in Kerala. And then we got to know that it is Dr. Ahmed Subir sir. And in that group, it was a step ahead. Actually, in our group, it was rudimentary. It's all students who were doing something, but a teacher came in. And then it was the most advantageous part. Sir himself has given a schedule. He said, day one this, day two this, day three this, day four this. You read this. At the end, I'll give you a mock test of 25 questions, and then you can assess. That way, many of our group people got galvanized. Around 250 people started following that group, following that schedule in some way or the other. Although we are unable to finish everything, but at the end of the day, we know that there is a test there at 25 MCQ questions, and we used to do that. And to tell those questions were completely different from what we used to make. So we used to laugh at our own questions. We thought, okay, so this is what a preparation guy, a participant is going to give a question, or a teacher is going to give a question. So that was quite different and very standard. And initial of the test, we used to score low, but after revising and after going through, we used to get good marks. And that was a turning point in our preparation, in my preparation, definitely, sir. Because we know what mistakes we are doing. In fact, some of the tests we are doing mistakes twice and thrice again. And then we know that these are the most important areas. These are my weak areas. These are my strong areas. This area I have to study more. I have to make notes more. And then that was helpful. And toward the more closer, there were real mock tests for NEET itself, which are around 80 questions. In fact, 30 of the questions came from those tests, actually, which was very, very helpful, sir. And I should actually, at the outset, I should have thanked you, but I am now thanking you, sir. It was very, very helpful, and a lot of morale and confidence boosting it was at back then, because we were a bit lost. We thought, okay, because AIIMS didn't go well, and we don't know how to prepare, how to revise, what to revise, and all. Then for me, medicine was there. So in the midst of everything, it was light at the end of the tunnel, and it was really helpful that those tests were there. Apart from those tests, the tests were each MCQ had explanations, and after that session, there were certain few more mock tests in the group, which are Bradley based, which are out of the world, which are very difficult. And on solving them and revising them, we actually went for further exams. And among them also certain questions have come. So I think to sum up, I mean talking too much. I think to sum up,
for your friends, I have kept this video, not for me, for you alone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and
Yes,
you
sir.
for
Yes,
helping
sir.
your friends. So continue, no problem.
Yes, sir. Actually, to sum up, actually, it is, I would say, 4 things. Draw a realistic timetable, put a deadline. I want to join PGA this session. I want to join AIIMS this session. I want to join SGPG or NEET this session. You first, when you are stepping in for preparation, come to a mindset that I want to join this time. So that way, you will have all your energies towards that. That is one. Number 2, the importance of a teacher is it has to be repeated and repeated. How many times you repeat, it will be less only. It is very important. We can think that, okay, Ajay Mathur, Harrison, I will read, I will revise. No, that is not enough. You need a teacher, either a very professional coaching or very guided teachers who are available, luckily for us, in the groups. For example, it's you, sir, Ahmed Subir, sir, you have been very helpful, because there was no distractions in the group. One, because only standard timetables, only MCQs were discussed, no other things were there, and any doubts were attained to, and not much time waste was there when a teacher used to be there in the group. So that part, second part, you join a group where a teacher guides you. So number 2. Number 3, read everything about Harrison. Additionally, apart from volume 1 and 2 of neurology, you need to read certain things, which I've noted, which I will tell you. Particularly neuroinfections like leprosy, rabies, tetanus, diphtheria, HIV, botulism, TB, and encephalitis and all are anyways covered under volume 1. So apart from these, which are not there in the neurology part of volume 1, you have to read thoroughly these things, because here and there in one of those exams, they will ask the toughest question from these questions, these things, but these will be exactly in Harrison's. There will be lines, there will be contiguous lines will be there. In tetanus, they will ask a question. Out of the contiguous fourth line, the fourth line will be changed. So you have to read those things also. So again, I will repeat: rabies, tetanus, diphtheria, HIV, botulism, TB, and neurocysticercosis. These have to be thoroughly read in Harrison from the infections part. These are very high yield, and you will get good marks from it also. And other reading: Bradley, Parkinson's, dementia, epilepsy, dystonia has to be read in Bradley. And finally, final thing is, which I didn't do, and I realized that it would have been very helpful. Always make a notebook which has to be revised on the day or before the day of the exam. That book should contain these things. They should contain numericals, which are very confusing and which are easily bound to be forgotten. Those numericals are, they will simply ask, what is the stroke risk reduction when a statin is used? They will give 10%, 20%, 40%, 60%. You can't actually remember it unless you read on the day of the thing. So again, numerical like corpus callosum, when does it form in the gestational period? 22 weeks, 18 weeks, something like that. Yeah. And then again, they will ask anterior neuropore. This might look very simple when you read, but it is very hard to remember at the exam. It's very confusing when there are just 2 weeks gap and all. And these are very high yield, so that if you get this right, you will be ahead of the pack. Even if you are losing on difficult questions like Luria sequence or stress score or whatever, these questions are very, very easy to get, and we should not screw up these questions. So numericals, one. That book should contain numericals. That book should also contain important neuroanatomic names like Martin Gruber anastomosis or any of the brachial plexus, root values and all that thing. 3. Embryology should be there in that notebook. 4. Fifth is pregnancy. Whatever is related to pregnancy in neurology, you have to make a notes on that. For example, myasthenia gravis, what happens in first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, postpartum. Multiple sclerosis, what is the disease activity in multiple sclerosis? What is the disease activity in SLE in pregnancy? In which trimester it will flare, whether it will flare or not, or it is stable. All diseases have implications on pregnancy. All of these are asked in the exam and are quite confusing when we attempt these questions. So these 5 parts should be there in a book. Make a book which is having all these 5 parts, and kindly revise all these things on the day or before it. And I tell you, at least 10 questions you will be able to answer from this. So this is what I would like to suggest and say.
Yes. Yeah, excellent. Actually, excellently summed up what all we did. And I like to tell you that numericals, as you said, is very important. I was thinking, I was preparing for the next neurophilia series, which is coming this December 23rd, which I had put a question actually regarding the stroke relative risk, the number needed to treat. Yeah, they are relevant questions, because especially the institutes which are dealing with stroke, they are seeing these numbers very much actually. So thinking from their part, if that person is going to put a question, definitely that should come. And that line is there in Harrison. Harrison, if you see, that line is there. What is the number needed to treat, or what is the related risk? That number, some criteria is there, some study is there, the number would be there. We may miss out because we are initially, when reading the Harrison, we take up the epidemiology part, pathophysiology part, maximum we go into the clinical features. By the time we finish it, we are tired. We will think that these numbers are useless, but these have also very good value, especially if you want to be on the top 100 in the NEET or to crack into the institute exams. That's what I was thinking. You said
Yes.
about the numericals. That's a very excellent point, actually, very relevant point. We have to make use of it. And one question I had always had in my mind about you, Shiva, because we have been associated for past 5 months nearly. I think
Yes.
from August itself, we were talking in the group. We were constantly chatting, even personally, regarding your
Yes.
doubts and your aspirations. So when
Yes.
you wrote your NEET exam in September
Yes.
25th, what was your rank then for NEET exam?
Yes. In my NEET exam, my rank was 237, sir. Yeah, it was a mediocre rank. It was fitting for my preparation back then, but that is not the rank which I aspired for. So it was a bit upsetting. One reason is that I did not prepare for pediatric neurology,
Yeah.
which is a very important part nowadays, which has been asked constantly. That also I have forgotten to mention. So yeah, pediatric neurology I did not do well, and general pediatrics also was asked a lot of it. So general pediatrics, anyways, I wouldn't have answered, but pediatric neurology is a part of neurology which I should have prepared, which I couldn't prepare back then. After NEET only, I have given some weightage to that, and I've read.
So you didn't get the rank as such, like to crack into institutes in the NEET. So did it bring you down? Because I get lots of calls, lots of messages I got lot of messages after the NEET exam regarding people getting very much rejected. Some actually lost the game in the due course, because after the NEET we had so much of institute exams, two enhanced exams, one AIMS, one PGI, one JIPMER. I don't know. Srichitra was there, but once the NEET that NEET had actually hurt a lot of people this time. So how did you overcome that? Because
Yes.
falling is
Yeah.
actually not important. But getting up from falling, that is actually makes our willpower to fight back. So how did you do
Yes,
that?
yes, sir. After NEET, I was rejected a bit, but luckily in our group of PG preference, there used to be a person called Dr. Rohin. He actually held the fort. Actually, he's a very positive person, and he used to speak. And of course, you also have put many messages in the group. They were actually very positive, and in a way, actually, there were very few days for the next exams coming, so there was no chance of sitting and sulking. So that also helped. Saying, okay, we have to pull our socks and then go to the next exam. So in a way, there was a next NIMHANS form came out. The first session NIMHANS form came out immediately after NEET. So we had applied for that and we had to start. So we had started preparing for that. And by that time itself, your group has got into full swing, and many more new tests were coming up, and that also was as a constant distraction, and from any negativity, and it was helping for us to focus. So that was quite helpful, and we were involving in a way to recall the concepts which were asked in the questions, and we used to discuss all of those also. In that way also it was helpful. Mainly to sum up, the colleagues and the necessity to perform was the main important thing to make us come out of that.
Actually, Rohin, I
Yes,
remember Rohin was the first one, I think, who called me after the NIMHANS exam result was out. He got
yes,
second
sir.
rank, I guess.
Yes, sir, second rank.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Nice
yes.
to hear that. So you have a gang as such of people studying. Oh, nice. Actually, that
Yes,
is
sir.
actually an important point. If you have a good group of friends and you are able to compensate for
Yes, sir.
all the problems, like if somebody goes down, somebody has to pull them up. So that is also, I also had that. So during my MD days, I had a very good group of friends who pulled me up when I was down. You would
Yes.
like to add, like, this is actually a motivation for the youngsters who are coming to be neurologists or becoming aspiring to be neurologists.
Yes.
I think you have covered almost all the things, important things. I didn't say anything extra. You have completed you have summed up everything very well. I'm planning to get it all
Yes.
organized through an app, actually, because I need support from technical people. That is tackle one app I am planning to put. It will be out by January. So thank you, Shiva. I think this would be the most interesting motivational advice to the upcoming
Yeah.
neurologist. So I think all follow your path. So wishing you all success in the coming neurology. Like you are starting a new journey in neurology from Enhanced.
I would like to first thank God for giving me this chance, and my parents who have been very supportive at this age. They said, "Okay, go ahead, beta, go read or do what you want, go follow your passion." I owe it to them, and of course to my teachers. I personally am not in touch with them, but they know that I would be thinking in my prayers and thoughts, and I would like to thank them also, and of course my colleagues, and more than importantly you, sir. You have been very helpful for us. I don't know, from nowhere we got an invite and we got joined and we got associated, and it was helpful. And the most important thing I think in my entire preparation I did was joining that NEET group and your group and attending every test possible. Be it a 10 question test or a 25 question test or a 80 question test, be it I have not consistently got about 10, I mean the first 10, but I used to write, and I used to go back, write them and read about them, whatever mistakes I used to do. I used to actively and passively learn that also, and that has helped me a lot. And I owe my success to you also, sir. I'm really, really thankful for you also, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Shiva. Okay, thank you, Shiva. So,
Yes, sir.
so let's call it a day.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bye.
Yes, sir.